Imatanga. Karibu.
Bwana asifiwe. Kwa majina ni Lona Opaire Makoha. Mimi ni mtoto wa 6 kwa hii familia.
Na washukuru wote kwa vile mmesimama na sisi katika Imatanga. Kwa sababu jana tuliongea sana kwa kanisa. Ile mambo yote tulikuwa nayo kuhusu baba yetu tuliongea kwa kanisa. Kwa hivyo tutakuwa wafupi kwa sababu ya wakati. Ningependa kuwashukuru kukuja kwa wingi kwa hii sherehe ya baba. Asanteni sana. Ukituuliza tutakwambia kwamba sisi ndio tulikuwa na baba mzuri sana duniani. Baba yetu mtu wa kufanya bidii sana kwa ajili yetu. Alikuwa anajinyima kwa ajili yetu, kwa ajili ya kanisa na pia kwa ajili ya jamii. Ukiuliza watu wenye wanajua mzee watakwambia kwamba alikuwa mtu wa kupeana sana. So ile kidogo ambayo alikuwa anapata, alikuwa anasaidia watu. Na sisi alitufunza maadili mazuri. Alitufunza tukue wapole, tukue waaminifu na tukue tunakula kwa jasho letu, na tukafata hiyo. Baba alikuwa mtu wa bidii sana kwa upande wa biashara, ukulima, na mapato yake yote alikuwa anapata kwa njia mzuri. Kwa hivyo tunaomba tu ya kwamba roho yake iende mahali pema peponi. Asanteni.
Kwa majina tena ni Emily Sema. Mimi ndio mtoto wa kwanza wa mzee Henry Walutsachi. The bishop, the Anglican Church of the Diocese of Mumias, our friends, colleagues, relatives, family, and everyone who's come to. We are not taking this for granted. We appreciate everybody's support, everybody's presence, everybody's attention. Was a great man. He was not a great man because of the things he owned on this earth, but he was a great man because of who he was as a person. And that is because Dad believed that education was an equalizer. Dad came from a very, very humble background. He didn't have anything. He started from scratch. He believed in hard work, and he believed that education would open opportunities for his children. And so he did that, and got good education. Our dad took us to boarding schools when we were quite young, very, very young. At that particular time, most of the boarding schools were missionary schools. So he believed that education in those schools was good and good enough. Other than that, he educated each one of us here up to a level. And I think, as it's also been mentioned here during the tributes, some of us, even when we were already married in our own families, our dad still went out of his way to ensure that he educated us, and we were able to advance to whatever level we desired and we had the ability to. So that is one of the greatest for us. The greatest attribute for us as his children. We are so grateful. We are who we are today because he denied himself to give us his very best. And therefore, Dad, we just want to tell you that as you go, you'll always live in our hearts because we are extremely grateful. It's been mentioned, my dad was a farmer and did extremely good farming. He excelled actually in whatever he did. He started off, what I remember so well, he was growing some groundnuts around here in this vicinity. And I think for all people who come from this area, know that there is nobody who has planted and excelled in actually growing groundnuts to that level. He became almost like a supplier. My dad moved to sugarcane when the Mumias, they used to call it Bukas, came into this region, and therefore he became one of the farmers. And I remember that my dad did not just rely on the fertilizer that was provided by the company. My dad could collect manure and carry it on his shoulders and go to the shamba and add it to the crop so that we'd get the best crop in this locality. And I think he was one of the recognized farmers in this region. Again, as my brother has said, was honest. He was a very honest man. He came from an extremely humble background, but worked so hard for whatever he owned and what he has left behind. He believed in truthfulness. He could stand for anything that he said because he always spoke the truth. Dad was God-fearing. He taught us about God. He ensured that we went to church from the time we were young up to now. He taught us about giving in church, doing God's work, and giving towards God's work, which we find as a very rich legacy that he leaves behind for us. So in a nutshell, I think we'll stop here, but just to say that we are really, really grateful, first to God for giving our dad the life that he gave him. Even that length of life on earth is still a very big great attribute and a big contribution from the Almighty Father. So thank you very much.
Asanteni sana familia, basi napeana hii nafasi kwa kanisa.
Thank you. Sasa ni wakati wangu mwema wa kumkaribisha Fika General aendelee na program ya kumkaribisha mama alafu eulogy.
Baba Askofu, familia ambayo inaongozwa na mama wetu Vilis, wote ambao tumekuja kuomboleza, tuendelee kuwa tulifu tunapoendelea kumalizia sehemu ambayo imepaki, ni sehemu kidogo tu, na tunashukuru kwa utulifu wenu. Kwaya mtupe kipande cha wimbo, tukaribishe mama wetu, mama Witso Shesie, laba ndelio loma. Asante mama.